Afternoon, my name's John Good and I'm the lead chaplain for the YMCA here. And today for the rest of the session we're going to be on a journey that takes us from cradle all the way through to golden years, celebrating the incredible work that happens across every corner of the YMCA. As you've already gathered, if you work here or volunteered here, then you are part of something that is much, much bigger than yourself and your department. And if you're visiting, we really hope that you get ready to catch something of the breadth and the heart of what we're trying to do here. Let's kick things off where it all begins. Teddy's Preschool. This is where our little ones start their adventure, learning the basics, how to play, share, and explore. It's all about laying down that foundation, one building block at a time. And Kerry and Jackie are going to come up and show us more about this amazing start to life.
Hi everyone, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Tila. Well, hope's up there eventually. There she is. So Tila, she's been with us for quite a while at the preschool. We've had 3 children go through. She didn't want to come today. She couldn't come today really because she works full time now, which she didn't do when we first met her. So what we did was we just ran through some questions with her and we're just going to read out some of her answers to you. Jackie is going to play Tila. I'm going to play Parkinson. Okay. So Tila, when did you first come to Teddy's? What made you choose us?
I first came across Teddy's Preschool in 2017 because my neighbour recommended it to me. Her youngest child attended at the time and she decided to return to Teddy's because she knew Kerry and her family well and she knew that she'd started working there. Also, my friend knew Tracy and some of the other team members and she'd used Teddy's before for her older child when they run a creche alongside the adult learning classes that the Children's Centre used to provide.
And how did you feel at the time about leaving your child in someone else's care?
I was aware I qualified for 2-year-old funding, so I felt like I should use it. But I have anxiety and I had absolutely no trust in anyone. And I didn't leave my children with anyone other than my mum at the time. I had panic attacks in those early days. I didn't really want to leave him with anyone, and I certainly made that known, trust me. Kerry and her team made me feel so at ease from the off, and I very quickly learnt that they were only ever going to do what was best for my son. I didn't realise, though, that they were actually going to do so much for me as well.
So what other support from YMCA services have you or your family received?
As time went on, I had another child with my new partner, his first child. While pregnant, my relationship broke down through broken trust, and I was having a really difficult time adjusting to life as a single parent. But I'd built my resilience up, and I knew that with good routines in place for my children and support from the preschool, things could be okay, maybe. I was able to access support from BCP with supermarket vouchers to help me through the school holidays when my children were eating me out of house and home. Kerry was also able to help me source things through charities such as Ashley's Birthday Bank, including bunk beds when my third child came along so that all 3 children could sleep in the one room at the flat. Kerry also wrote letters to support my application to move because the flat was damp and he has asthma. He was ill more times than he was not. I did eventually get back with my ex and we had our 3rd child pictured with me on the screen. But my ex had a very difficult childhood and had issues with alcohol. I didn't tell Kerry at the time, but we had lots of referrals to social services from the police because they would be called out when my partner would drink too much. Eventually, we had so many instances of this that we were referred to Children's Services and the children were made subject to a child in need plan, or a Section 17 as it is often referred to.
And how did you feel at this challenging time?
This was a huge wake-up call to me and my mama bear instinct kicked in. I loved my partner, but my children are my world and they had to come first. I worked with Children's Services alongside my health visitor, Kerry, and my oldest school to get that off that plan as soon as I could. I did everything possible, including parenting courses, abstaining from alcohol myself, joining the gym, which all helped. But the one thing that was not happening was my partner wasn't changing. He was unable to break his demons. It was Kerry who suggested the YMCA counselling service to see if he could access the service for us for free. And he could. What a lifeline. To me, anyway. This was a good start, but he had so much to work on, and he really didn't address the issues or want to change. I felt I wanted to move on with my life, and I wanted to be a good role model. I wanted to get fit and off my medication. This was lighting the blue touch paper to my partner, and he once again assaulted me after drinking. But this time, in front of our children. It was my older son who had to call the police using my phone. This was in danger of undoing all the good work I had done, and it was the final straw, and we separated. It was easier this time because there were bail conditions in place. But through all of this, Kerry was always at the end of the phone or in the office to speak to. Often, I spoke with her every day.
And did the preschool team help you with anything else?
Kerry was always there. Following observations from the practitioners, she was the one who suggested I take my daughter to have her eyes tested because she was so clumsy. And guess what? She needed glasses. She was the one who recognised the signs in my son's development that were mirroring her own child's development. And that led me to approaching the GP about my son's hearing and speech. And that resulted in him having grommets and his adenoids and tonsils removed. Again, with my daughter's ENT journey, Kerry was knowledgeable about hearing aids. Her own son had worn them. I could speak to her about anything. And if she didn't know something, she'd find out. Because she was as interested in knowing the answer as I was.
And where are you now?
All three of my children have been through Teddy's, our journey finishing in July 2024. They're now all at school and they're all settled. Next year, I'll be applying for secondary school for my eldest son. It's crazy. Where's the time gone? I started working full-time in April 2024 for a health insurance company. Can't tell you how much I love my job. It's brilliant. I'm off my medication for the first time in my adult life. I'm now able to plan for our future, and I'm already looking at becoming a supervisor in my workplace. I'm still working on the anxiety that comes with that. I have a new work bestie, and I love that she's now a friend for life. I've joined the gym again, which is another thing I do for me. I've been abroad for the first time ever, and I'm taking my children next time. Kerry helped with that too. Well, at least the passport application. I feel like I'm getting my life back and that I'm Tila now, as well as Mum. I'm pleased to have been able to help out YMCA when they wanted a parent representative on the Family Hub interviews. I felt my experiences were relevant and my opinions were listened to when appointing the current team.
Tila, would you recommend Teddy's to others?
1,000%. In fact, I already have. To many people I know, but in particular a few of my neighbours who have all had children who've gone to Teddy's, even though we live a bus ride away. I know that I've spoken about Kerry a lot, but that's because she was my support. The team at Teddy's cared for my 3 children and supported their development amazingly. And they're all superstars as well.
And if you could say one thing to the Teddy's team, what would it be?
I would say the Teddy's team are amazing at what they do, but particularly Kerry. I could not have had such an amazing journey without her support and guidance in the last 8 years. She is honestly one of a kind.